Hey, what's up everyone? Morey Croson here, and we have a brand new breakdown for you today. It's going to be on African champion Ferdinand Omanyala in the 100-meter, and we'll start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab. Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become. All right, so I want to go ahead and start off by saying huge congrats to Ferdinand for being able to make this happen, right? We recently did a podcast with him. I'll put the link here above. Awesome guy, been rooting for him this entire season, was able to connect with his team a little bit earlier on. And, really one of the things that we talked a lot about is into the start. And I think that, a lot of the stuff that he does in that start when he's doing this race is just textbook, right? So we want to be able to spend not very much time driving this foot through, right? Trying to get this foot down as quickly as we can. And, at the end of the day, and Ferdinand has talked about it before, it's like if he can be close in that last 60 meters, then I think his chance of being able to win is a lot better, right? He's not one of those guys that's going to, typically get out a ton on the field, especially when he's going against some of the best guys in the world. But when he really excels, he's going to be in that last 40, right? And so what we want to be able to do is just make it so he can be in the race in that last 40, and then he a lot of times is able to take it from here, and we were able to see that here with this race. And even if we can give him a little bit of a lead, right? It seems like too, if we could just give him a lead, he's not going to let that lead go. So you can see here he's landing at 2.20, right, with that first step. And what ends up being critical here is just how much time do we have till we get off the ground, right? He's back off at 0.36. That's just an excellent amount of time, whereas he is really hitting the ground and coming right back off, right? And another critical thing is that other foot swinging right through, not getting too high, right? Being able to come straight forward from in the backside mechanics and then coming up and through here, right? And really, I usually try to cue guys to be able to get their toes up through here so then they can hit right back onto the ground, have a little bit of force as they're going and touching back onto the ground, okay? And you can see here we're landing at 4.4, we'll say 2.44, okay? And then right back off the ground at 2.6, 2.60, whoop, 2.60. Okay, that one's actually a little bit long, 1.6. We want to be closer to 1.4 there, okay? And then another thing that ends up being important is how much time from when the foot comes off the block there till we get down onto the ground, okay? We're at 0.2, okay? And anything like 0.2 and under is great on that. And then this other foot, so what's it be closer to like 2.5-ish, 1.6. Okay, this is at like 0.44. Okay, so 0.4, it's 0.28. Okay, so that could be a little bit quicker. Being able to get that foot down. Let's see this one. This one's in the same kind of category. If this one's 2.8, then this one, the next one needs to be around 2.8 as well. 3.6. I'm going to quickly interrupt this video just to say if you like the information, go ahead and click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll hop right back into it. Oh, we're not going to be able to see that. Okay, and then when they put it over, they didn't do the same timing there, and this angle isn't as good. So we're not going to be able to get in depth into that, but it gives you an idea, right? We'd want to be close to 2.8. So if you can go and record and get this same type of data, then you want to be, again, close to 2.8 there. But you can see, right, when he gets into that top speed, he's nice and quick off of the start, and we can see some of the things that could potentially, get better there. But once he gets into that position where he's either in the lead or close to the lead, he's going to finish, right? And that's one of the things, like when we're watching this, okay, and I'm seeing this part of the race is like there's no way that anybody, I haven't seen anybody catch him, right? He usually just catches people. I haven't seen anybody catch him yet, and the thing that just stands out is just how tall he hits with the ground, right? So look at how well he's able to swing that foot through. He gets that toe up. Right, and this is a critical thing that we see the fastest in the world do. They're able to swing that toe, get that toe all the way up, and then from there, strike down in the ground hard. So then when their foot hits the ground, right, we're going to look at 0.30, okay, and then he's able to just accelerate off so quickly, right? I mean, that almost seems like a break in the camera there. The camera didn't catch it really well because obviously it's not going to be 0.4. Let's see 4.6. Yeah, that's better, right? So he lands on this next one, 0.46, and then is off by 0.55. Okay, so he's extending, boom, landing, 0.46, okay, and is off by 0.55. Okay, so 0.09 in terms of foot contact time. Okay, and so he's very limited with the foot contact time, but he's still able to maintain so much height, right? So what happens a lot of times is that when people are able to get like this extension, they'll land with their foot too far out in front of their hip, and it'll be difficult for them to be able to maintain a fast foot contact time. They'll want to spend a lot of time on the ground, or you know what will happen is they'll be like starting to overreach. Okay, and when we see that overreaching, that's going to make it so then that transition time is going to be long. So we go to 0.55. You know, we'd want this to be around 0.33 around. Okay, in terms of how much time, right? 8.8. Okay, 0.33 right on the dot. Okay, and so that is really what we want to be seeing, right? We want to see sub 0.1 in foot contact. We want to see 0.33 in terms of the turnover time, right, the distance per step, and then the last number that we'd really want to be able to see, and this is kind of the best way that I have as of right now to be able to measure distance per step is, you know, you're coming off the ground and we want to be able to spend 0.12 off the ground, right, so 0.76 to 0.88, again, 0.12. Right, so awesome how those numbers end up working out perfectly, you know, and when he's getting to that top speed, right, sub 0.1, and the foot contact time, 0.33, and the turnover time, 0.12, and the time spent off of the ground. Those are really the numbers that we're looking to find to make it so we know that you have the right amount of speed, the right amount of turnover, the right amount of force into the ground to be able to really optimize your top speed. You know, from there, if you're getting into these numbers, right, and you're not getting amazing times, right, if you're running the 40, if you're running, you know, in like the 4.7s or above, right, with these numbers, right, or if you're in track and field and you have these numbers, one, it could be your height, right? So first thing is he's, you know, about 5'9", so anyone in like the 5'8 to like 5'10", probably maybe even 5'11 range are going to want to be in these numbers, right? And maybe if you're like getting into like, if you're a little bit longer at 5'11 or 5'10, you know, you could end up having a little bit more transition time, right? So you could be spending a little bit more time in cycling the legs. So instead of 0.33, maybe closer to 0.35. Okay, but as you're getting taller, what will end up happening is that you'll end up having higher turnover rate or turnover time, right? And so, I mean, a Usain Bolt is spending very limited amount of time on the ground, right? And has closer to like 0.37, right? 0.36 or 0.37 in terms of his turnover rate. So he's taller, right? And so he's going to have more time to turn over those legs, right? When you're shorter, you could actually have, you know, closer to 0.1 in terms of foot contact time, okay? And you want to just have really fast turnover time. So like Tyson Gay is closer to like 0.3 with his turnover time, even though him and Omanyala are pretty similar in height. They have a little bit different styles in terms of how they're running, but he's very fast with his turnover, a little bit longer with his foot contact. Ferdinand Omanyala is a little bit more of like what we're seeing with the typical sprinter nowadays in terms of how they're optimizing their overall run. So very quick, very explosive overall, where again, Tyson Gay, I'm not saying that he wasn't explosive, but he was just, you know, for his size, he was trying to be long, right? So he was spending more time on the ground to be able to really maximize how much distance he was going to get per step. Still ran 9:69, right? So still one of the fastest American ever, right? So from an overall result standpoint, Tyson Gay didn't do bad, okay? But it just shows that there's different ways of being able to run at top speed, okay? So if you have closer to 0.1, that works, right? The numbers just change. So when he's going down and he's like in that 0.09 foot contact, then we're saying, okay, you need to be 0.33 turnover time. Or if he was closer to 0.1, 0.11 foot contact, then we'd say, okay, now you need to be closer to 0.3, right, based off of your height. Okay, so it changes, right? And again, the reason I'm going into this is so then you realize, like, dang, there's a lot into this that actually matters, right? Now we could break it down into timing. Where should the hands be? Where should the wrist be? Where should the feet be? How should we be moving the ankles? How should we be moving the knees, the hips? You know, how can we optimize our body? Where should our spine be? And being able to make it so now everything could be just that much more objective. The more numbers we can get into it and the more exposure that you have to the education and the information, I think the better you have, or better chance you have of being able to run faster. Now, of course, if you're going to get a coach, somebody that's going to be able to help you out, somebody that you can go and consult with, can talk to, and be able to bounce ideas off of to make it so now you can actually improve, then go ahead and check the description down below, right? I'm your guy. I got you. Okay, because what ends up being the most important thing when it comes to developing speed is understanding what it's going to take to develop speed. Okay, so if you're out there and you're trying to learn all this on your own, right? You're trying to be your own speed coach, and you're also trying to be your own, trainer or own physiotherapist or own nutritionist, and also your own motivator, right? Like, you're going to end up having too many cooks in the kitchen, right? You want to be able to, and the more the older I've gotten, the more I've realized, like, I need a bigger circle, right? I don't necessarily need to have hundreds of people, right? And then that ends up being too much, right? But you want to be able to, the more people that you have that are going to be able to help you out, right? And the higher level I think you get, the more important, the more it matters what is your circle like. Like, how is that able to propel you forward, right? And so if you want to be able to get to the highest level, or if you want to be able to get the most out of yourself, you're going to have to find a coach at some time, okay? Happy to be able to do that. I think a lot of the prices that we have are great prices, right? But we have to be able to have the commitment. So just because the prices are really good doesn't mean that you shouldn't be ready to commit 100%. Okay, so there's part of me that wants to even make my prices more, because then I'm more likely to get a deeper level of commitment, a higher level of commitment, right? But the more we can just get the, I think, information out there, the knowledge out there, the better off we're going to be. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for rambling a little bit there, but I'm just passionate about being able to help people run faster. So hopefully you decide to be able to sign up for a program. We'd be happy to be able to help you guys out. Either way, like the video, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out a ton. And as always, we'll talk to you soon.